The Mexican Revolution was initially about putting an end to the Porfiriato, and during this time, everyone had a common enemy and a common ideology. But when this was accomplished, all the common things within the people perished, and this created the fighting. So with these different ideologies, everyone wanted to create a better Mexico, but in with different ideas. So like they were fighting for whose idea was the best. So another way to put this is like Mexico was wanting to improve its political and social aspects of the country at the same time. During the Porfiriato, we could see that the the economic side of Mexico was improving drastically, but it came with the expense of social liberty. And this meant that like the social working class had basically no rights and were being exploited. This was what motivated the Mexican Revolution but it was in a very inefficient way. So the goals and the reforms that the revolution brought were accomplished, but in the worst possible way, because these reforms came at the cost of 7 years of fighting and thousands of deaths and everything. So I think the best possible solution would have been like to have a civilized meeting with all the leaders and to come up with an organized and disarmed solution. This would have been much more efficient instead of having an all-out war against each other, which made Mexico's stability and economy take a huge hit during the 7 years of civil war. So, is Mexico better off now with because of the revolution? I think it is because of all the reforms that were made because of the revolution in the Constitution of 1917. These reforms, such as the Article 123, 7, and all of the other reforms that were written on this new constitution, benefited the social spectrum or social class, or the social class of Mexico, and it also benefited like the people that were being ignored all this time in Mexico, like the working class. These reforms came with these new articles came with reforms such as less fuel work hours, more holidays for workers, less less week hours, less hours of work in general. And this was a huge improvement because during the Porfiriato this was not available. During the Porfiriato, the workers lived a horrible life. For example, la tienda de Raya, and they were raped by the hacendados. They were not paid. They lived horrible lives. And I think that this constitution was very impactful because these reforms were needed in Mexico, and they were all written in the 1917 constitution. So I think that the similarities that I see today with the revolution is that there's still a huge wealth gap. There is still very few rich and a lot of poor, and this has never really changed in Mexico. But the difference is that the poor are not being abused anymore. Right now, the poor are in fact poor, but they're better off with this new constitution, or with the 1917 constitution. And with this constitution, the poor benefited because there were more rights handed to them, basically. So I think that the legacy of the Mexican Revolution should be mainly the Constitution of 1917, which is a constitution that we have today in our modern society, but also the 7 unnecessary years of fighting that could have been like could have been not present because they shouldn't have happened. It was stupid, really. So I think that this is a tool that we have to never repeat this again and to not commit this. And from this, Mexico and every other country in the world can learn. And I think that the Mexican Revolution was not efficient at all, but on the good side, it did manage to reach its goal and improve society.